Pickled jalapenos are a staple in my refrigerator. They're just one of those things that is always in the door of the refrigerator. I usually buy Mazzetta brand. No, this is not a sponsored video. But why not make our own? Every year we grow a wonderful garden, and we always grow jalapenos. Sometimes some other spicy chilies, but always jalapenos. 8 weeks ago, I started these. It's a very simple project. So let's go through how to pickle your own jalapenos. And there's gonna be a brine that you can use in this recipe for other things like pickles, regular cucumbers, they get pickled, beets, carrots, pick your vegetable. The jalapenos, they are the main ingredient. We grew our own. You don't have to, but I would say maybe get them at the farmer's market so you're not buying them at the supermarket and then they're potentially coated with some sort of waxy preservative to give them a longer shelf life and make them more durable during transportation. So farmer's market, you'll probably find a guy who's growing chilies and loves growing chilies and has lots of varieties and is really excited to sell you a whole bunch of jalapenos. And I recommend getting a whole bunch of them because if you're gonna make this project, make it worth your time. Get a few pounds. And you can also turn these, since you're cutting up jalapenos, you could also make a fermented jalapeno hot sauce. Love this stuff. This stuff goes on everything. It's my daily driver kind of hot sauce. Link in the description for that project, how to get that going. Because you've got jalapenos, you're cutting them up. It's you're doing the knife work. You can make two different things, kind of the same thing. Okay, so you got high quality jalapenos. What do? We're gonna rinse them off. I highly recommend rubber gloves for this. The spicy that these guys put in your mouth, if you go bare hands and you get that spicy stuff under your fingernails, it's terrible. You're not gonna like it. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait for it to go away. It's miserable. So rubber gloves, I recommend them. As far as thickness goes, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and you wanna cut them roughly the same size. They don't have to be perfect, but neighborhood, so they all pickle the same. You're gonna cut them from tip to stem, and then you just kind of toss the stem. If you wanted to make these more mild, you could certainly get rid of some of the ribs and the seeds out of the inside. I'm not going mild. I want all the ribs, I want all the seeds. I want these to have some heat. Because jalapenos aren't the hottest chili pepper. They're kind of just a nice daily driver kind of hot, in my opinion. Okay, you got your jalapenos all cut up, they're in a bowl. We're gonna pack them into mason jars. We wanna fit as many as we can without really squishing them too hard. We want the jar full, but you're not like compressing them in there. As far as aromatics go, what else is in here besides jalapenos? We have the brine, we'll talk about that. But all that I have in here is a little bit of garlic and some fresh cracked black pepper, that's all. You could get more creative than that. But think about what I'm using this for. This is a condiment for me that's gonna go on a lot of different things, so I want it more on the neutral side. I just had one. These are really hot, actually. They surprised me how hot these came out this year. Last year I had habaneros and reapers and scorpions, and wow, they made an amazing hot sauce. Very hot. Garlic and black pepper, that's all I want, but in mine, because I want to be able to put this on other things and just bring the heat and the acidity without having like cumin or coriander or pick some other spices that you might want to put in here because it's pretty limitless. You can be as creative as you like. This is a baseline jumping off point. So you're the chef. If you want to add other things to this, by all means go for it. So these came out of this guy, right? So basically I had 3 quart-sized jars of jalapenos and I put a slice of garlic in each one. How much? So I took 1 clove, I sliced it into 3 pieces. Boom, boom, boom. That's all. I want the garlic to be a background flavor that adds some depth and some roundness, and you're like, oh, yeah, there's garlic in there. I noticed that. I don't want it to be so forward that it's garlic jalapeno pickles where, if you wrote it, the garlic would have to be written first. I want it to be subtle. So that's my choice. You're welcome to do whatever it is that you want. These are your jalapeno pickles, so adjust as needed. You're the chef. And then we need a brine. So how do we make the brine? This is so easy. Check it out. We're gonna go recipe in the description. We have water, salt, sugar, and vinegar. Those are the 3 ingredients in this brine. So these are not fermented. These are vinegar, refrigerator style jalapeno pickles. So there is vinegar in this recipe. Okay, brine, we've got water in a pot and salt and sugar. You bring it up to a boil, stir it around, let it roll, turn it off, add your vinegar, and then ice it down. Get it down to at least room temperature. And then we're gonna cover the jalapenos with this brine. We don't wanna put it in hot because it's gonna change kind of the consistency and texture of the peppers. I like to go cold because it makes them have a little bit more of a crunch and a snap to them. So room temperature or cold. It doesn't need to be ice cold or refrigerator cold, but at least room temperature. So you fill your jars, get your jalapenos covered with the brine. If you have a fermenting weight, you can certainly put one in there to make sure that the pepper stays submerged. As long as you have enough brine to cover, you should be good. You just want to, give them a stir every couple days, or a swirl, a shake, to make sure that everybody is, in the liquid. And you put a lid on them, you label it with the date, and leave them kind of out of your way somewhere. I put mine down in the garage because the garage is nice and cool, much cooler than in the house, and they just hung out there. You could go in the refrigerator, but that's valuable real estate for me, so I don't take it up with 4 jars that can go somewhere else. If you live somewhere warm, then maybe you have to go in the fridge. But these spent the last 8 weeks in the garage, and then we moved, and there was like a dry storage room here that's very cold. So these guys have been stored between probably 60 and 45 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. When are they done? Well, generally, I think they're good to go, and you can start using them after about 4 weeks. But like I said, we moved. I was harvesting ducks. I was harvesting the garden, making tomato sauce, lots of food projects, fixer-upper house, doing house projects. So just kind of 8 weeks went by before I got into them. And then every year, around this time of year, I send off jars of pickled jalapenos and my fermented jalapeno hot sauce to some friends. So it was time to break these guys open and taste them. They're great. They're wonderful. I can't wait to use these in, all the things that I like to put them on. It's a simple project, really doesn't take much money. It's just a matter of time and some cheap equipment, mason jars. That's really all you need. You probably have all this stuff ready to go.